That's new YouTube Man Already George page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, it was one of the biggest shows for the weekend. It was a Chicago Pro slash Tim Gardner extravaganza with the Miss International. As you know, that is the Miss International is a pro qualifier. And it's an opportunity for competitors who gain their, three competitors gain their pro cards out of the three weight classes at that show. And also the winner becomes, represents, go to represent as their pro debut at the Winter Spring Horizon Phoenix. But also they compete at Chicago Pro. But the Chicago Pro is a big show for opportunity for points. Even if you qualify, the second place person is automatically in to the most definitely is going to be in Olympia. It used to be back in the day when before the Olympia, before they brought back female bodybuilding, second place was automatically shot to the Rising Phoenix. I think it's about 8 points, I believe, and whoever took second has a automatic shot to the Olympia this year. And how many points they can gain, or just I don't know. I think it's 8 points to get to the Olympia for and if they get those 8 points or a little extra, they're already there. So anyway, the Chicago Pro was in Atlanta, as you know, because of there's still virus restrictions in the city of Chicago. So they had it in Atlanta again like they did last year, and we had a lineup. We originally had 19 women for this show, and then when I look at the lineup again, because I know that when the women who compete at the Miss International had the opportunity to also compete at the Chicago Pro. And then I look at the lineup, and then I made the count, it was 19 again. So, two women were out of the show. It was Jessica Kendrick and Eva Montgomery. I don't know what happens. I don't know the details. If somebody who, I'm going to share this video later on, if any of the ladies who were at the competitions that I follow who knows what happened to them, just put in the description and let me know, and that'd be something to me, because a lot of people be curious, because they were supposed to be 19 women, and knowing with 2 or 3 more women from the Miss International, it's going to be 22. So that was going to be a good number. But that's it. So anyway, drum roll tree, please. And our winner is one Miss Sheena Oleg. And Miss Oleg, is from New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey. I got family in Jersey. I got family around about in my aunt came to visit me from New Jersey. I forgot, but my father's buried there too. But hey, the Jersey girl won. And this is a big thing for her. She's a wing strength ambassador, and this big show was great. I mean, great opportunity. Now she's get a straight shot to Olympia. She doesn't compete in any other shows, and she can concentrate and really work on some things, make some improvements, and really get ready for Olympia. I reached out to her on IG. She said after the show, she went and committed a crime. She murdered a burger and fries. Yeah, and also I follow her. She was when she got back to her room, she had a box of which is Cocoa Puffs, and she said, "We know what time it is." She act like that dude from, you remember the Boondocks? She had that Cocoa Puffs. She act like that guy, the booty warrior. I like you, and I want you. We're gonna do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. But like I said, Sheena, I hope you enjoyed this opportunity. This is a great shot to go to the Olympia. I think you have the look and the style that might get you into the top 5. There's some strong competitors. I'm gonna tell you right now. You got to deal with Margie V and Andrea Shaw and most definitely Mila and Hala and maybe a couple others that might be standing your way at a top 5 spot. And at one point, she was doing an interview with Andrea Shaw, and Andrea asked questions about that. But one thing is, I'm gonna give you some advice real quick, Sheena. Do not ever give out your plan when you try to shoot for the crown or the queen. Just be polite. Say, well, we'll see how things goes, and that's about it. You don't want to give no details, because you shooting for a crown. You don't want her to know what you're planning on doing. Now, next up is Christina Mendoza, and Christina, I felt like she was going to make her. I most definitely felt like her and Sheena was going to make the top two. There was no doubt about it because, I was seeing videos of her. She's on social media, and Christina looked amazing. I mean, she just looks wow. I mean, she last year she felt like she was a little bit undersized. She competed at the Savannah, and she said, I'm not gonna do any more shows. I'm gonna do some work and really put myself together. And she did. And it was a great show to make her turn. Now I think with this second place spot at the Chicago show, I think it's enough points where she's automatically into the I think she's automatically in the Olympia. I believe so. I think I'm trying to remember. I think Chicago, if I remember correctly, when you see Rashana Boswell, she competed at Omaha, and then Rashana took third or second at Omaha, and she took second at the Chicago. And I think you only need about 8 or 10 points to make to the Olympia. I think I talked to Jared about that. We get that together when we have our Muscle Talk Mondays. We talk about it. But I think she's already shooting for most stuff for the Olympia. And she really proved. And her quad is just so amazing. I mean, her and Marjorie Martin and a couple of ladies they got killer quads. And, it's just, I think she just looked great. I mean, she still has, I think, a bit of way to go. But she's there. She's just not there. Now, we have Miss Stephanie Flesher. Miss Flesher competed at the Omaha, and she decided to switch. And she looks pretty impressive. Part of me didn't think she wouldn't get this far, take third place. I had some other people who I felt that was going to take the get in third, but I was on social media with some ladies who were watching the show, and they said it's about conditioning. It's not about size anymore. I know I'm thinking as a fanboy, but I'm not a judge. I'm a fan, as I said. And, conditioning came pretty good. I mean, she got a nice side of shoulders, but she has a way to go. Now switching from women's physique to women's bodybuilding. She might try to do the Tampa. Tampa's going to be loaded because that's another big show for big points. And third place, she might have just got half the points she needed to maybe shoot for the Olympia. And all she do is if she goes to Tampa and she can take another third place or even take second, that's enough. She's already in Olympia. So she's already there. Now, here we have also Miss Akima Jones. I'm a fan of Miss Akima Jones. I follow her on social media. She's a mother, a nurse, amazing woman. I did a video about her. And she did pretty good on her pro debut. She, even though it's fourth place, it's pretty good, especially at the Chicago. Chicago's a big show, especially with bodybuilders. It's one of the biggest shows, Chicago to Tampa. And I don't know how the points set up. She might do the Tampa or just say, you just getting your feet wet. And I think 2 shows would be good. I think depending on how the point systems work, maybe 2 or 3 shows for this, but it's already season about through. You can do this. You can do the Tampa and then Savannah and see how it does. But she did pretty good, and also she won Best Poser of the Night for women's bodybuilding. I mean, that's pretty good. That too. I mean, the 4th spot, I don't think you get too much of a prize. But then you get some little cash for just Best Poser. That's great. That's something she can have in her pocket. She can take home. Her and her daughter can have a good time, and her new man, it's why always the guys get to find women. It's always it's just that's how it is about life. But I think she's a beautiful lady. We're talking on social media. She was very happy about winning, and I hope she enjoyed the time. Don't spend it all in one place. Don't get too drunk. I hope you're sober, and I hope you enjoy your time. And maybe hope we see you either not in the Tampa or maybe the Savannah. But we hope we see you again. And I hope this is a great opportunity for you. And this is one where I had a kind of scratch my head moment. And this is Tracy Rugged. And Tracy, I think, she competed in physique or figure, probably both of them at one point. And to me, I don't know. I mean, but like I was talking with some of the other ladies, they say it's not about size anymore. It's about condition. And she came back condition, but you gotta think about it. I mean, I didn't see her. Actually, I did not ever see her in the top 5. I might see her maybe tied for maybe the bottom 16. Maybe even that high. I mean, this is kind of high. I mean, like I said, I'm not a judge, and whatever they see, I just don't. And then you got to think about it. You going in there? She's maybe about the same height as Michaela Aycock, but not as thick as Michaela. And then you got someone like Mila Ash. Even though this is not, she's not gonna make it to the Olympia this year. I don't see her, maybe she might need to backpedal and go back to physique. I think that might be a better place for her. I mean, I know it's about size. I understand that. But when you got, women like Mila Ash and Andrea Shaw and Monique Jones and, I think it's just, not her division. I don't want to, sound like I'm throwing shade. It could be, yes, I'm going to say I'm throwing shade, but I got to be honest. I can't just, keep it to yourself. Now, here we have one Miss Donna Williams-Saliba. Yay! And yesterday was her birthday, and this was a great thing. And I felt like, this is a pretty good placing. I mean, maybe a little edgy. If she get 5th place, that'd probably been good for her because, hey, that'd be a great birthday gift. And, she competed last year Chicago Pro. And this was a great, good opportunity for her. I mean, it's just, she turns off and she comes here, she comes to Chicago, takes 6th place, get a nice little medal, and she gets to celebrate her birthday. I mean, I saw her, she posted on IG, where she's with her husband, Jake Wood, a lot of other people from the show, and she got to eat some cake and ice cream. I hope you get to enjoy it. But now you still have to get ready for the rest of the season. Still have the Tampa, when more likely she's going to do, and also or the Savannah. Those 2 shows are possibilities to get enough points to shoot to the Olympia. So I'm with special look and happy birthday to Donna. I sent her a birthday video, and she really appreciate that. Cause I know these ladies, they really appreciate the attention they need to get. I hope she shares it with her family, and it's just something to build their confidence that somebody out here, there's fans that reassured them. Now, next up is Miss Ann Sheehan. We had not seen Ann since the New York Pro. And this show, she came at 7th. You got to think about it. This was a bigger show, a lot more women. And compared to what she took, I think, was it 4th or 5th? I think it was 4th at the New York show. This is pretty good. She made top 10. To be honest with you, she made top 10. You got to think about it. This is a bigger show, nearly 20 women, and she was able to make the top 10. So it's a pretty good showing for her. Now, next up is Patty Hansen. As you know, Patty competed last year when she won the Miss International, which, she also competed at the New York Pro, and she competed at the Rising Phoenix show. And then she come back to repeat at this show. And, she looked pretty impressive. I mean, and the thing is, like, she has a nice size. I was wondering, I follow on social media, and I sent a thing to her, say, when you gonna come back, or, what show you gonna do? She didn't say. And the big question is, was we just gonna come back with like, think about it. I'm still thinking as a fan, I'm thinking size. But, I think conditioning and size is 2 things you really need sometimes with some competitors, especially when you're gonna be hitting for the big shows. And she has a way to go. This show here, Chicago, my advice with her, skip shows like the Chicago or the Tampa. Shoot for Puerto Rico, Omaha, and probably the Savannah. Those shows are better off-side shows, great opportunities. You probably try to collect points. You might even make the top 3 or top 5 in those shows. Here at number 9, it was one Brittany Larson. And I thought she was going to make the top 5, honestly. I thought she has, look at her lats. She has she's a bit tapered off. I mean, I keep, like I said, hearing that person say in my head, condition, not about size, condition, but size does matter because I think she needs to bring her legs more. I mean, if she gets a little more size in her quads, that would help her out. But her upper body, her lats are just amazing. She has more lats than some women who have, probably better conditioning. And I think she has a great upper body. She's still young. She has a way to go. Like I said, Brittany's from my home state, and she's just up the road in Hope County. That's where Rayford is. And, I reach out to social media. And if anybody, like I said, I'm going to share this video. And if anybody knows her, share it to her. I really want to do an interview with her. I really want to talk to her. It'd be great to talk with somebody from my backyard, and how to get the sport. I would love to do that. Number 10 is what I call the usual suspect, Angela Rayburn. And Angela, Anja, there's not much to say. I think the truth is she's just coming in as the same. I mean, you most people can evolve, but she's been in sport for a long time. And this is what she should have did was skip this show and maybe try to do the Pittsburgh Pro Masters. I think she would have done better in that show. That would have been a better show for her. And it's just, she has a great physique. I'm not going to say she has a great physique. But, taking 10th place, I think she's not even running for opportunity for the Olympia. If she does, if she does the Tampa and Savannah, she still don't have enough. She has to make the top, even if she got to at least win the show or make top 3 in order to get enough points. So I think she's going to come up short. I think she really might need to consider about retiring or start doing shows like the Pro Masters or the, that'd be more her speed. Now, here we have a lady I follow. That's one Miss Senorita Gabriela Pena de la Vega. And I reached out to her a while ago on social media, and she was kind of disappointed. And I felt like she could have made the top 5, maybe top 10. But she took number 11. And, I think she has a pretty physique. She did pretty good at the Linda show. And that's the Linda show. That's a different show. And she did pretty good. I think she did pretty good in Omaha. But those are different shows. I even suggest to her that, the bigger shows you may not want to do, like the Omaha and the Tampa, you might be better off like the Puerto Rico, the New York, or also maybe the Savannah or the Linda. Those shows are better because there's too much. While I was talking with some of these ladies, there's too much, politics in it. Too much attentions, or maybe even shows like the Muscle Fest. Even though it's still, Muscle Fest is probably a good show. You have to go out of the country, but it's an opportunity maybe for you. She has a great physique. I think she does, and I think this show she didn't, with this bigger field it was, and so many kind of like surprises and dark horse and people that I didn't expect to even get that far. But, she did all right. Maybe if she got in the top 10, most definitely touching top 5, I think that's where she should have been. Now, here's a lady I've been a fan of. I talked a bit on social media, and I wasn't sure she was going to compete because at one point she wasn't sure she would compete either because she mentioned it to me. And that is one Miss Maria Rita Bello Walters, or just Rita Bello if you want to be short. And this is where I say she took 15th. Ooh, that's not good. And Rita before, she has done pretty good in Chicago, but that's been a while. She competed at the New York Pro last year. She looked pretty good, but this time, I think Rita really might need to consider retiring or doing shows like the, IFB Pro Masters or the Pittsburgh Pro Masters. I mean, the Master shows are better for older bodybuilders, who are just, they know they're not going to ever get a shot at the Olympia. This is just to compete so they can stay relevant. I mean, I think she's a very proud Argentinian woman. I respect that about her. But, she's getting to the point where it's going to be difficult competing with a lot of younger women coming in, women from the physique division, younger bodybuilders. It's hard to be a legend. And sometimes some legends need the best to walk away at the top. So but anyway, we have some new bodybuilding pros. And one of them has just won the Miss International show. That's one Miss Sandra Harwin. Now, Miss Harwin, like I said, what much I don't know a lot about her for what I saw on social media. She has no social media life. Nothing. She's one of these, like I said, I don't follow a lot of the amateurs because I mostly focus too much on the pros. Amateurs is too crowded. There's so many bodies. Maybe every so often there's some stand-ups that pop out every now and then, but it's just so crowded in the amateurs. So many bodies, so many people. You have to really be a standout. And she really, came out of nowhere. I mean, particularly since in this division there was somebody particularly that was supposed to get the big push. But she won the middleweight, the middleweight division, and then won the overall. And often like this, when you in amateurs, is usually the people that win the titles, usually heavyweights and the middleweight. I think the last couple of years it's been the heavyweights. I think a couple of middleweights. I think was it Hoda Lopez was middleweight when she won it last time. And this is pretty good for her. I mean, just hit the park out. Now, here is a woman, Miss Dana Webb, and Miss Webb won the lightweight division. And I think, this is another person that if she starts competing, she might have to do physique or do a women's bodybuilding over at the Pro Masters. She needs to get, she's most definitely has to really do some work. I mean, she's a lightweight. Once you hit the lightweight, you gotta put on some size. You gotta work in condition. I think a lot of these ladies who get their pro cards, you gotta leave your old coaches, because now you have to find a coach that works for pros. You gotta make some improvements. And I think, that's fair to say. I'm just saying, as a person who's, now I'm not an expert. That's somebody thinks I am. I'm a fan. I'm just giving my opinion. You don't like my opinion? Now here we have Erica, the Covet Hardy. And to me, she competes a heavyweight, but she looks kind of lean for heavyweight, especially in female bodybuilding. She looks closer to lightweight physique, maybe about figure. And here's the thing about finding out this. She's a Wing Strength ambassador, but she's not a pro yet. She just got a pro card yesterday, and they made a Wing Strength ambassador. I thought why did I read about ambassador program? I thought it was people who got their pro cards who are already pros. Like there were people like Julie Furry from Sweden and Helen Davis who just got their pro cards. But this chick didn't even have a pro card yet, and they're already pushing her. And she didn't do too good. I think they was posting. She posted that. I thought maybe they thought she was going to win the Miss International. She's going to get a straight shot to the Rising Phoenix. No, she's out. Unless she better not compete in the Tampa, and forget about she might could do the Savannah, but forget about the Tampa. You're going to get drowned in Tampa, little girl. I mean, you need to put in some work, conditioning, size, everything. Or you just switch divisions. Physique, maybe figure. You're a bit undersized. You have a look to you. You're attractive, but you gotta put some together. I mean, you're too lean, you're too small. You just look like a fit chick in a bikini. I know it sounds like I'm being, but you know what? The truth hurts. And if I can do this, I could either tell you a pretty lie or ugly truth. And right now I'm telling you the ugly truth. You just don't belong in female bodybuilding. You might need to switch divisions, or you need to step up your game. Now back to Miss Sandra Harwin. And now I'm gonna give some advice here. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody who's giving you my opinion, my thoughts. You need to develop yourself a social media footprint. Now that you have become a pro, you need to get attention. You need to get recognized. You need to get monetized. Like they say, like we in YouTube, we try to get so many followers who want to get monetized. But same thing can happen when you're on social media. Get yourself attention. Also, you need to go back. You just won this title, which gives you a shot to the Rising Phoenix, which was the alternative, the Women's World Bodybuilding Championship, which was the alternative after. It's basically, like I said, to quote Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins, as the IFBB walked behind female bodybuilding quietly and stabbed her in the heart. So you need to hit the ground running, make some changes. If you got your same coach, work with him for a bit, but then you have to get a coach that works with pros. You have to put on the working conditioning and maybe also put on size. She kind of reminds me a bit of Tisha Thomas. By the face, she reminds me a bit of her. She's just a lot taller, a lot bigger, but she kind of has that spirit of Tisha, and that's why I love Tisha. She's a great lady, and I think Sandra, I think she could have that same quality. You just need to make some improvements. She needs to reach out to some of the pros around them. Whenever the judges come to you and make some feedback, take the feedback as it is. Use it. Make some improvements. Don't go home and start eating regular food again. You shouldn't even start eating a cheat meal. You should stick to your diet, work on your condition, and maybe skip the next year and work on developing size and then your conditioning, and come back in 2023. It could be a lot better opponent. I mean, like I said, you go into the Rising Phoenix, the Women's World Bodybuilding Championship. You don't have to be the winner, but you do have to show out. Because right now you're standing next to the two-time Rising Phoenix world champion. And I think, you really, really have to step it up a little bit. You're not going to beat her, but hey, just at least, come with a little bit of a game, Now, right here is the list for the women's physique. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, there was a lot of bodies in this show, a lot. And I did my video earlier where I made my guesses of who's going to win and how they're going to place. I think I had some surprises. Some people, I think some things I got right, some things I got wrong, some people I didn't really see. But anyway, I'm just gonna start. So, the champion was from Canada, Patricia Gosselin, and she did pretty good. She come from Canada, come here, and she becomes the new. She wins the women's physique division in Chicago. That's pretty good. Now she gets to go to Olympia. She has to compete for a shot for the Miss Olympia title, for 2021. How she gonna place is all dependent. If Sarah Vigis is on her A game, if anybody else in the top 4 don't come up in the A game, I mean, she can make the top 10. That's a cross your famous moment. Seriously, that's a cross your famous moment. Now, next up is on the list is next to her is one Miss Linka Fornakova from Czech Republic. I'm gonna call her Linka, and Linka's pretty impressive. Look at her shoulders. And look at her lats. I mean, she has an impressive physique, and I think she looks pretty good. She might be, I don't know, she might be a good shot for bodybuilding. But the thing is a lot of these ladies, when they place really well in a show, they're not going to lead the division. They're not going to give it up. Because, what's the point of, switching to a division when if you do well in that division? So there's a good chance she's going to stick to women's physique. But there's a good chance that she might ever switch. You never know. You just never know. She might look at her options. And once she talks to any of the judges. Now, here is Brittany Watts. Now, Miss Watts, I believe, was a former figure competitor, and she made the leap to physique this year. And, she has some of the qualities I think the judges like. I think she's a little bit, she's a little bit leaner. I think this is a good division for her. I think the switch from figure to women's bodybuilding, I think, was a lot better. I mean, I think she probably does better here because she has a particular size, particular look. But, that's congratulations for her. I mean, coming to Chicago, and maybe the next show, maybe she does a Tampa, she might even get a shot at the Olympia. Now, right here, we have I follow my Miss Elizabeth Bradshaw. And Miss Bradshaw is an amazing woman. I follow her. I watch her do her workouts. She has a great physique, a great body. Her and her husband, Philip, they are very much into the sport of bodybuilding. He was himself at one point a bodybuilder. And she looks amazing. I feel like she could have got 3rd place. I don't know. I keep saying to myself. But I felt like this is my opinion I was going to do it. Say, because she's a little bit older. The judges are going to push for a year better. That's why I think that's why Brittany got the spot in 3rd place. I think she could have got 3rd. But here I was talking with some of the ladies that it's about conditioning, it's about this body part, that body part, what body part come in, what body part doesn't come in. It's always the great debate of what these judges are looking at. And I'm not a judge. I'm a fan. And as a fan, I'm saying that she should got 3rd place, if not 2nd. Well, with Linka, 3rd. But I think 4th is kind of short of it. And I post this on my YouTube. I might have seen this video to a copy of her too, so she might even look at it and might have her opinion of it. Now here we have one Miss Kathy Hall, and Miss Hall has been competitive for quite some time, and she you might know her as I think Flex Lex on IG, and I didn't think she was gonna get this high. especially with some competitors that I suggested that was going to make the top 5, but she got 5th place. So that's pretty good. Well, she might be, like I said, as you know, physique's a little bit leaner. But, if she comes in more conditioned, tight around the abdominals, her legs look great. Maybe a little more definition in the arms. But overall, she's pretty impressive. I must give it that. Now, one lady I felt like was going to make the top 5, and that was Sheena Washington. And I think the thing is, Sheena, I think it's her midsection. You can really see it's kind of like, I did a video where I talked about Diana Cadot. And, Diana Cadot, she had issues with her midsection. And I think that could be the thing that probably hurt her a bit. And also other body parts of the judges see when they look at these ladies when they do their critique, But I think she's pretty impressive. There's a good chance that she most likely would stay in physique, but you never know. A lot of these ladies would see that how some women who did physique and made a jump, and often when I hear when they some ladies would do interviews that were physique competitors that made the jump, you have to really sit down and think about what you want to do. You want to think about the pros and cons when you make that switch. You got to understand that there's so many side effects that come into switching from one division. That even though it's bodybuilding, it's just different levels of bodybuilding. And, depending on how she wants to do it. I mean, she was doing pretty good. She did pretty good a couple of shows. But the Chicago was one of the bigger shows. And there's also still the Tampa, which is another bigger show. So I know she wants to go to Olympia. So I wish all the luck to Sheena. Now, here is at 7th. Who last year won the show in the women's division, has placed 7th as one Miss Teresa Invasic. And see, I had my doubts with Teresa, but I think for the past couple of years, Teresa has been downsizing. And still, I think she's still a bit big. She's still a bit thick in the waist. Her legs not as shredded like she used to be. Good size straps as usual. But she might need to take some time off and try to bring it together. Downsize and conditioning. 2 things she might need to do. She's still a big girl. She's still big for the division. She could have just switched over and back and this competed this show and did pretty good. She could have made the top 5 at the Olympics. She's, like I said, she's considered the usual suspect. But now she's decided to step back from women's bodybuilding and go to physique. But I don't know. Maybe it's just what she wants to make. This is what she wants to do. That's fine. But you never know. As I always say, you always can come back home whenever you're ready. Now, here is one lady I thought was going to make the top 5. And that's one with Sharonica Hinton. And she didn't make the top 5. She was number 10. Well, I think, and she had last competed, it was New York, which took 2nd. I don't think, she had time. New York was almost 2 months ago. And whatever improvement she needed to do, whatever she needed, she needed to get done, she had the time. It's not like it was months away. I mean, like with some competitors who barely had a week or 2 to make any improvements and jump in the show and then all of a sudden win. But, she had the time. But, well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a judge. There's a good chance they might tell her that she might need to go to bodybuilding. When you get too low, they will tell you might need to go to bodybuilding. And this is where I'm going to go to the next person here, and that is Miss Amanda Machado. And Miss Machado, she had competed at the Omaha. She took 2nd in that show. And she's also a client of Alina Popa. And I would thought she would do a little better too. I mean, top 5, top 3. I mostly thought she would. But she got 11th place. 11th. Ooh. And like I said, this was a lot of bodies. I think there was at least over 20-some women for this show. A lot of bodies for the New York. And, she could do too well. I mean, I think she might be a little too lean for this and not as cut for it. I mean, you work at Alina. Alina, when Alina Popa works with somebody, they really come in pretty good. I mean, I think Alina may need to get away from the physique competitors. I think she's more. I think Alina, my advice is you work exclusive. I know you want to work with a lot of competitors, but I think you need to work exclusively with bodybuilders. I think physique competitors, they just, I don't know. If she switched to bodybuilding, she might do pretty good. But, she just, I thought she could do a little better, being Alina's client. But whatever she did or didn't do, she didn't do it. But supposed to have done. Now here we have it as Young Kim from South Korea. And this is where I'm kind of shocked. But I see why. I'm saying for one. She took 16th at this show. Tied for 16th. But that's just why. I mean, she looks amazing. Because the judges think she belongs in bodybuilding. When you get you that low, they're probably telling you she should do bodybuilding. Now, she took 3rd at the New York Pro. New York Pro was, I think it was only 6 competitors in women's physique. And it was not that great of a show. But she, I don't know. I'm really looking at her. And I see some qualities that would make her a great bodybuilder. I honestly do. I mean, she, like I said, it's conditioning, but she just needs a little size. Just a little bit, not a lot. If you see the other competitors from the bodybuilding show, how they placed, how some women who I felt like, I don't know how you get in the top 5, she could have been a top 5er. I think she could have took that 4th or 5th if she competed in bodybuilding. So I think she gets back and talk to her coaches, set out a plan, and figure out something else. Maybe come back next year and compete in bodybuilding. I think there is a growing market for Asian competitors. It's just again like you have Olivia Bain, and you have like I mentioned Abby Jimenez over in the Philippines. There's already a couple of bodybuilders who are like Helen Davis and another lady from Canada who are Asian descent on the Winter Strength Bachelor program. And Winter Strength might be thinking about maybe even recruiting or even putting more shows out around the South Pacific and Asia. It's kind of like the USC, how they got people like Wale Zhang and Yan Jinan. They're trying to grow that Asian market. And that's what it is. I mean, she's impressive. I think she has a look to her. I think she might need to switch to bodybuilding. I think that'd be great. She might do pretty good some shows. Maybe something like the Puerto Rico, something like the Omaha, or something like the Savannah. Avoid the big shows because there's a lot of political stuff about it, and also it'd be too stacked for the competition. But she looks pretty impressive. Now here I want to get a shout out to a lady that I have become acquainted with or sometime. This is one Miss Mary Ann Wachowski. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna miss Mary Ann. Now she also competed this weekend. It was at a show, the Pittsburgh Pro Masters, and there was both these shows happened at the same time, Chicago and the Pittsburgh show, and she competed at women's 50 plus in the women's physique division, and she took 2nd place at that show. And she looks pretty good. I mean, pretty impressive. And you got to remember, this woman is 57 years old. And when you get a certain point of age, you're not going to always maintain the physical demands of your body when you were younger. But she said, how did I look? I said, you look great, but you just keep on pushing. Keep on what you got to do. Talk to your coaches. You feel like you need to make some improvements? Fine, make some improvements. And I know she posts pictures with her baby little granddaughter. I know she's so proud of her grandmama. And I tell her, that little girl is your clone. She looks like you. Your son didn't have her. Your son and his wife didn't have him. You had her. She looks like you, and she's a cute little girl. I know she's proud of her grandma. And this is your pro debut. Hope you see some more shows. There's another show in Baltimore. I think you might know of it. It's the IFBB Masters, and maybe it's a great show for you to do. And we maybe hope to see you compete in some of the more Olympic qualified shows, like maybe the New York, the Puerto Rico, Omaha. Something like that. I mean, I think they're supposed to be a show. I think Linda supposed to have a show in Detroit also. But I think Michigan, they have a progressive governor. They still have some kind of guidelines and restrictions and crowd control for shows in the state of Michigan. Now, I want to give a shout out to a man who I have a lot of respect for. And I'm considered my big brother. He's a great man, one Mr. Big Keith Williams, and just he competed at the Pittsburgh Pro Masters, and while he was competing, he got some sad news that his brother died, and I can understand how that is because it's been 18 years since I lost my brother, my big brother. He was my mom's right-hand man. He was the father figure to my younger nieces and nephews. You know, he was a great man. I can understand him. Mr. Keith, he came and he competed. But, you know, I know it's rare in his heart, you know, being wanting to be with his family, but he had to do what he had to do. Now, he took 7th place at this show, and he really felt, you know, I think he probably could have, you know, got higher. But you know how it is. Judging, the judges, it's just, you know, these judges, you know, it's not like an MMA. You can't leave it in the hand of judges. But in bodybuilding, you have no choice but to leave it in the hand of the judges. You got no choice. But, you know, we were talking on social media a while ago. You know, he's confident. He really has plans to put together. He's coming back to the next show. He's going to really show up and show out. So I wish him the best of luck. Him and Tina, him and his family. I want to give my condolences to him, his mother, his other brothers and sisters. You know, if his brother has any family, like any kids or anything like that, I want to give my condolences to them too. It's just hard to lose somebody, especially that close, especially a brother. You both came from the same woman or the same father. You know, maybe both, you know, you grouped together, you did things together, you understand each other, and, you know, it's just hard to lose somebody like that. You know, it's just, my heart goes out to you, man. My brother, Big Keith, I hope you're doing well, and my condolences to you and your family. God bless and be safe. Now, anyway, like I said, we have the champ here. The champ is here, Miss Sheena Oleg, and this is a wonderful lady. I'm hoping maybe after the season over, we get to do a talk, have a little interview. I love talking to these ladies. I love to get there. I want to get her how her feelings were when she won this show, and you know, and now you're on your way to Olympia. You're gonna be shooting for the title, you know. And like I said, I told her, when you shoot for the title, you never tell the king what your plans are. When you shoot for his crown. You never let him know what you're going to do. You keep all that, you keep it all secret. But like I said, I want to wish her great luck. I know she enjoyed her win. She killed some burgers, a box of Reese's Cocoa Puffs. What would it do for a Klondike bar? But like I said, this is a great win for you. You got a straight shot to Olympia. I hope you do well at that show. You know, you're like I said, you're gonna go up against some real veterans of the division. You know, a couple of champions, some legends, and you have to really show up and show out. If you don't win, hey, just like what you got to do, show up and show out. Much respect to your mother. I hope she's doing well. Much respect to your family. I have a lot of respect for you and what you do. And you know, a lot of respect to you ladies, period. I hope all you ladies had a good time on this show. And I wish some of you could. I like this. I know not all of you winners, but you're all champions. All right, let's let it be like that. This is your man, All the Way Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Don't subscribe. I'm out.